What's going on YouTube? This video is going to be about psychic powers and government history. That's right, you guys heard it. Psychic powers and government history, and how government to government always is in the pursuit of having power. What better power than psychic power? Now at the end of this video, I'm going to run a couple of clips for you guys, showing you guys demonstrations of real psychic agents going to town. And one, above all, is a lady that was very popular in Russia. Of course, the Americans, the United States, end up getting a video displaying this strong psychic power. So in 1960, Russia was really on the race to develop tools and techniques to hone the electrical magnetic field that we have in and throughout the human body. And some scientists even went as far to say that the discovery of the energetics throughout the body would be equivalent, the discovery of energetics of ESP, would be the equivalent of the discovery of the atom. So, of course, the United States took these experiments as huge psychic threats, and in 1978, the CIA began Stargate. It was a program for psychic development devoted to what we call now as remote viewing, where you can see far away from place to place with being still in a secure location. Some of those Stargate bizarre activities was also documented in a book called The Men That Stare at Goats. I'm sure you've probably seen the movie with George Clooney. It was hilarious, but it was cool, but it was based on actual events. Yes, these things happen, this is real. And in 1984, the Washington Post reported that the CIA continued to take psychic research seriously, and added that the former CIA director Stansfield Turner told critics their skepticism about the CIA psychic projects was healthy, but that research should keep pace with their skepticism also. So that was in 1984, and we are not that far away from that. I think that is about 33 years to date. And when we see opportunity, when we see power, we know that all these nations are hungry for it. And there are many reports that China was also in this race, and they found their own psychic kids that were very extreme, that were walking through walls. So the reports were saying that to some point, once they start finding psychic kids, that they just start killing them because they ran into some kids that were stronger than small platoons, and they just couldn't have that. So I hope you guys enjoy the clip and give me some feedback.
But there are baffling cases modern science has been able to reach. Extraordinary stories of a Russian housewife began to filter through the Iron Curtain in the 60s. "33-year-old Nina Kulagina claimed psychokinetic powers. Her husband filmed her first attempts, and scientists have been arguing ever since.
Kulagina apparently has the ability to move small objects over relatively small distances with a great deal of psychic effort. What troubles me about a case like that is that the phenomena are inherently small scale.
Over 40 international scientists were called in to examine Kulagina under controlled conditions. They claimed there was no rational explanation for her mysterious powers, but modern scientists are skeptical. French parapsychologist Mario Vavoglis.
She was attacked many times by skeptics, Russian and otherwise, but I don't know of any legitimate, good critiques of her work. So if that does not exist, if there are no good critiques, then the phenomena that seem to produce are quite impressive.
In 1967, the unforgiving cameras were again focused on her, this time by a Russian team. Even in close-up, it's hard to see how she's making the box shift across the table, but it certainly is moving. Russian physicist Leonid Ryzhkov was present and observed her closely.
People who perform these kind of acts are under an enormous physical pressure. The veins of Kulagina were swollen. She started to sweat. And if she was lifting a heavy item, she really had to make an effort to achieve this.
Dr. Ryzhkov and his team built an airtight glass box for the experiments. This was to prevent any possibility of her using magnets or an electrostatic charge or even blowing objects with her breath. Again, the results were startling.
Kulagina could move the matches as if a wind had pushed them. She didn't feel too well that day and did not want to experiment with larger objects. But through the glass box, any form of physical manipulation would have been impossible.
Whatever else was happening, it was clear Kulagina was using enormous amounts of energy during the sessions. She lost weight. She complained of headaches. During one PK test, her pulse rate soared to over 200 beats a minute. Her brain activity registered 4 times normal level. Usually she only gave sessions after many hours of careful preparation, which made some critics suspicious. But one day she was caught off guard. In 1974, 2 German scientists paid her a surprise visit. Psychologist Jürgen Keil from the University of Tasmania was one of them.
Als wir dorthin kamen, war sie zunächst etwas zögernd, aber als sie dann erfuhr, dass überhaupt niemand etwas von dieser...
When we arrived, she hesitated a bit, but when she heard that nobody knew of the whole thing, she was very friendly and invited us to come in and invited us to stay to have dinner with her. And she even started to move things while we were still eating.
Wie wir noch sozusagen beim Abendessen waren.
Kyle filmed Kulagina at work in her own home. How did she do it? Paranormal strength or just clever trickery? Even now he's not sure.
I have to say that this experiment with a table tennis ball was really quite impressive. And I would like to hear from, let's say, a magician about how he would have done it under those circumstances.
Kulagina died in 1981 after a heart attack. She made one last recording before her death, and for the first time, she failed. Had her psychic powers deserted her? Or had she just run out of the energy needed to maintain the deception?
And if this is the first time that you ever seen any of my videos, please like, share, and subscribe. I have much more coming to you. Thank you. Peace. See you on the next one.